This is the Amplify Your Business with Matt J. Hannam podcast, where I explore the entrepreneurial landscape and have candid conversations with inspiring individuals who are crushing it in their space. Okay, welcome to the Amplify Your Business podcast. It's Matt J. Hannam here, and yes, for once in a while, I have someone to interview rather than you just listening to me, which is great. I really love the interview thing, and I'm super pumped to be able to bring someone into the room. We're podcasting. We've got the Rode Procaster, which is super exciting, and I haven't used on the Amplify show yet. So welcome, Karolyn Zinetti.
Thank you, Matt. Super excited to be here, and I'm pumped to see what magic we can co-create together with this podcast.
100%. So excited to have you here. As I said, it's really, really good to have you. We hooked up and met Get Amplified 2018, which was October last year. It's like, it goes so fast, but a year ago. But look, really cool to have you here. Just to quickly let everyone know a little bit about yourself. You're the founder of Limitless Abundance Movement, which is a global movement that you're you're getting out there, you're expanding, creating some more consciousness around, I guess, money mindset and influence amongst entrepreneurs. You're the leader of the High Vibe Tribe, which is running retreats, and also you have a podcast, which is cool. Love the podcast. Love podcasters everywhere. Yeah, all baby. Of you out there, especially ones that keep going, not stopping at this 7 podcast death march. But yep. I digress. Look, you've moved to Bali successfully, which I'll put in inverted commas because look, a lot of people dream and try and do this, but you've gone and done that. You spent the last 18 months out there, which is amazing. You're running international events. Basically, you're living a life, it seems, on your terms. And that's super cool. Like, I love that. And I want to just dig into how you've got there, where it all started, and welcome. Anything else to add?
Love it. Well, we could add a lot, couldn't we? But maybe some things we'll leave confidential.
No, I like to dig those bits out, actually.
Yeah, make the entertainment for the audience. And guys, if you're listening, if you're tuning in, thanks for being here. We're going to be real, raw and honest and have a lot of fun. This is not going to be your average, boring podcast.
Oh, come on. None of them are, but no, especially not with yourself. Like, just generally, you've got a lot of energy, and I every time I've met you and talked to you, I can just see that energy just like pumping out there, and that's really cool, and I love that in people, and I'm excited for the show. So
thank you.
So let's start with something a bit random then. Seeing as though you're not going to divulge anything, well, why don't we start with something that people wouldn't know about you?
So is that the question? What's something people wouldn't know about?
What's something that only your friends and family would know that you don't really push out there in your sort of public persona?
Okay, wow, I have so many wild stories. Okay, I love to travel. I used to work for Emirates for 5 years. I had my mate George Clooney on a flight, and I chatted to him for a little while. We had a great conversation and got a few photos together and some cuddles. I've jumped fences to get into concerts in Dubai, partied with Richard Branson. Like, just crazy is
had a lot of fun.
An understatement.
So, yeah, I had a look at that. I mean, I was looking through your LinkedIn profile as well, and that's something I didn't know about you, that you'd spent a good 5 odd years in Emirates, and actually pharma as well. But you started, I guess, life or your career as a naturopath.
Yes.
Right. And so you did that for a few years.
Graduated in 2005. So okay. I studied natural medicine when it was totally not cool. Yeah. And now in 2019, 15 years later, everybody wants to be a naturopath or in the health coach realm. And that's friggin' amazing. Yeah. I'm so grateful that it's like really, people want to live healthy, happy, vitality lives. Like, it's so awesome. Yeah. But it's really funny where initially people are like, what is that? What's a herb? What's a vitamin? What a green smoothie? Now all the cool people are on Instagram posting their green smoothie.
Oh yeah, that's almost old news now, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's where it began.
So how does that begin then? So what drew you to that? Because at that point in time, it was out. I mean, it was out there, but it just wasn't anywhere near the kind of mainstream approach that people take. What drew you to natural medicine?
Okay, curiosity. So I am somebody that can respond to being an overthinker. So I used to always wonder why we get sick, like literally on a cellular level. Why is it that I can eat healthier than my sister and I'll be the one that gets sick? Or, understanding like how the body communicates and moves and how it's all connected. And now I'm so grateful I have this wisdom like every day to be able to, I really believe that health is our greatest wealth. I shared this message today. We would do anything to make money in the world. Quite often, like we search outside of ourselves for the material possessions and what we think is going to bring us that happiness and fulfillment and that meaning. But we will give anything and everything we have to buy our health back when that is question. So I really believe in prevention rather than cure, which is the holistic approach. And I'm all about having healthy energy, like you said, and like living happy and being able to do amazing things, and you need that health and wellness. So that's where it started, and then it actually led to personal growth and coaching to understand how the mind works and how our lovely feelings are all connected. And again, it's just curiosity, and life happens for us so that we can dive down these paths and get to know ourselves better, connect with ourselves better, and that's where the magic lies,
So was there any sort of personal challenges or things that sort of then were I guess sat along or at least prompted this? Was there some pain there?
Absolutely. You said it. So pain. So I am somebody that used to have some stress in my life, or perceived stress. No one was dying. But these practices allowed me to respond rather than react to whatever came up in my life. So, the daily habits are so important to me, really ingrained in my daily practice. And, prevention rather than cure, like I said. So, yes, I used to actually get tonsillitis as a kid. Okay. So when I would get sick, I would literally be like, I would do anything to get better. And so I found things that worked for me, and it was down the natural route of having some herbs and vitamin C and resting and listening to your body. So is where it started. And especially on my entrepreneur journey the last 3 years, stress has come up more so than when I just had a great cruisy job that paid me every week, no matter what happened. And I'm probably jumping ahead here.
No, go for it.
So after natural medicine, I wanted to travel. Freedom has always been a goal for me. I value life experience more than anything, adventure, culture, diversity. So I moved to London, travelled Europe, had a ball, worked as a naturopath over there, which was actually what all like the celebrities used to think was cool. To other people, it was like, again, what, a green smoothie? But
they were onto it.
Yeah, they were onto it, because they could afford it as well. And this is the thing. So I came back and I missed being able to travel, and that's what made me apply for Emirates. Itchy feet. Also, single, young person, loves adventure. I was like, I want to be paid to travel the world. So Emirates was the best experience of my life. And I have a degree, and so I'm allowed to say that a degree, a piece of paper, is nothing compared to lived life experience. I would rather definitely learn from somebody that's actually been in the trenches. Actually showing up, as an entrepreneur, having the courage to share your message, than someone that just has a degree that says they can do something. So living through it is the best teacher. And Emirates was so, so much fun. If you can think of anything, I've pretty much done it. I've gone to the Olympics, the World Cup, Carnival, lived these incredible things, had so much fun, been to orphanages, been able to connect with different cultures. Like on a flight, you would be rostered for a flight with people from every different country that you've never seen before. You would have to work together as a team, lead a team together, communicate, and then never see each other again potentially. So much growth in a job that is not necessarily going to uni, but the life experience there, next level.
There's language in there too, right? So obviously you can speak at least basic forms of other languages.
Marhaba, shukran, habibi, that's some Dubai language.
Yep.
And my background is I have an Italian passport. That's why I moved to London.
Okay.
And I'm really passionate about, I like Spanish actually, you know, traveling through South America, went to Peru and all these beautiful things. And language.
So you can speak Italian as well?
Oh, you know, poco.
Yeah, which helps with Spanish.
Yeah. So, yo no entiendo means I do not understand. And the importance of body language, right? We study in coaching the importance of language, and we can communicate a lot by our body language and self-expression.
Yeah.
Yes. So Emirates was loads and loads of fun. I had a ball, and that's actually where my personal growth journey started. I received the book on a flight from a friend called Chicken Soup for the Soul by Jack Canfield. You know the book? I
actually haven't read that book.
Oh, no.
Like I know the book. It comes up everywhere, but I haven't actually stopped and read that book.
Well, he is a rock star. So Jack Canfield then wrote the 12 Success Principles, and that was like my Bible. Like that's actually how I found out about Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, because that was a quote. So whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So that is what I want to remind any of you listening. If you have a dream on your heart and you're not doing it, you're doing yourself and the world a disservice. Like if you can dream it, you can become it, and stretch yourself daily. Like I'm like the queen of taking risks and jumping and making it happen. And that's how I've gotten to connect with incredible people and do amazing things. So I'd love to remind people of that. Believe in yourself, trust yourself, make it happen.
It's cool. So your PD journey then sort of started with Chicken Soup for the Soul, which probably started with a lot of people.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people saw The Secret. And, you know, Canfield was in there, and I think that was probably, one of the sort of, I guess, earlier texts for a lot of people in this modern form of PD, because obviously it's not new, just had a new resurgence with some new leaders in the space. But so how do you go from there to start thinking about a different life and even an entrepreneurial activity? Like where does that start?
Okay, love this question. Thank you. So in Dubai, I knew that quite often when you're in a job for 5 years, which has perks of traveling the world, meeting incredible people, landing in the Seychelles and staying at a hotel for a day and getting paid for it, it's quite hard to leave. And I knew that I had a greater purpose, and it was quite scary to leave that environment. And before I did, Dubai is great, has lots of incredible speakers come. So I went to an event with Brian Tracy, who co-created Chicken Soup for the Soul, and I met him and I met some incredible leaders at this event. And it was to help me to have the courage to leave. And I quit my job not knowing what I was going to do when I get back to Perth. But I believe your struggle is what catapults you forward. That's where the growth lies. That's where you really get to know yourself in the lessons. And it took me 6 months of applying for 1 million jobs, working 3 jobs at once to get my incredible job as a pharmacy rep for a nutritious superfood company. I was a rep for BioGland for a few years. And I realised on that journey that every rejection from like top interviews with other brands was perfect, because I landed a job that was far better. You know, we get these perks of free car, free laptop, free holidays. Within a week of getting the job, I was flown to Phuket for the year holiday. So it was awesome. But this is what I want to remind you as well. Whenever something sucks, sometimes it's the best blessing. Rejection is redirection in relationships, in jobs, finances, whatever it is. Just trust that there's a gift there. And what happened was I was on the job, and the people that didn't give me the jobs, the other companies, I was ripping their products off the shelf and putting mine in because we had the better brand and was it in supermarket, and like there was so much perks, and it was so character building, that little journey of coming from Emirates to like getting a job in the real world. People like, oh, you're a flight attendant? I'm like, actually, I'm Wonder Woman. You don't know what you have to go through to even get the job, to work on a plane, to be resourceful, to come up with solutions at, 20,000 feet. So, that was a really cool experience. And
hopefully 40.
Yeah, 40,000 feet. They have different
they do go up
levels.
And down.
So I'm just grateful for all my different challenges. So after that, I will share that I was in that job. It was awesome, but I'm someone that also gets bored if there's no challenges easy. So every year and a half, I would get a new job. Went up to state sales manager, and I was still passionate about personal growth. Met John DeMartini, did his breakthrough experience, learnt about living in alignment to your highest values. That is when I realized I was not on that journey. I was selling my soul for a paycheck, I say, because I was sitting in a job that was like 120K a year, could work at home, living the dream, but I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't truly happy. I wasn't truly healthy, and I was a bit stressed. It wasn't a healthy work environment. No, that was a different company, not the one we spoke about earlier, but I know that I am worth more than money, like my health, my fulfillment, my sanity. And a reminder for anyone listening, if you're in a job that you're not 1,000% loving, what are you doing today to get you closer to where you want to be? Like we can have it all. Like we are worthy of our heart's desires, and we can have it all. And maybe it's not easy at first, but grow some balls and bring your dreams to life, because you're the only one that's going to be on your deathbed with regrets if you don't.
100%. So, I mean, look, you're only going to, at worst, be working 8 to 10 hours a day anyway. Sure, and even if you've got a family, you're working 8 to 10 hours, you've got some sleep, there's still some time in there to be making an incremental, a 1%, some sort of growth or process every day. And the thing is, we're
listen to a podcast.
We're so lucky now. We have all this digital, we have everything. Like, you don't have to go find a book that someone might lend to you, or even go looking for down PD in the library or anything. You've got everyone's got a phone. We have everything at our fingertips, like more than, and even if that's just listening and learning. But I don't know about you, but I even remember the first couple of like PD type texts and things that I read. They weren't necessarily that easy to read. Like that was a new flexing of a muscle as well. And but you've got to start, because if you don't, you'll just be sitting there whinging 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years later about that job. That job is still a gift, right? That job is providing you the gift of that income at that point in time to keep you and move you along the process that you're on. And I think we can just be so negative as humans and look at the sort of negative angle of that instead of using it as the platform to more than fill your space and push forward.
Yep, you hit the nail on the head. It's our attitude that shapes our perception and our realities. So I like to say, replace expectation with appreciation. You're not guaranteed anything. You're what you create. You can be like, how come two people's experience can be totally different in the same environment? So we choose, even if you're not happy with the guy at the desk next to you, make someone's day. You never know what people are going through. Show kindness, show gratitude, show appreciation, show love, like give more. Our mate Tony Robbins says all the time in every one of his talks, the secret to living is giving. You don't know what other people are going through, so just give them a smile. Might make their day. Give them a genuine compliment.
Especially if you don't know what to do, right? If you're sitting around not knowing what to do, just do something for someone. Start helping someone. It'll lead to something, whatever that is. Even if that just leads to you feeling better about you, which is 100% and it can be 100% selfish, and that's still okay. Like if you just want to feel better about it, but you're helping someone, that's fine. If that makes you and gives you some endorphins and some kicks to move forward, then that's enough.
Yep.
Just keep taking an incremental movement.
Yep. And you mentioned selfish, and that reminded me of something like healthy boundaries have been a game changer in my life. So any of you that might be shy or might be a bit of a people pleaser that does just want to bring other people joy, remember to fill your cup first. You know, as a flight attendant, I use the analogy, put your oxygen mask on first before helping others, especially mums. You're all about giving life, give. But if you are not having the 100% energy in your body, you can't give 110%. So being selfish and putting self-care and you first is the greatest gift you can give your kids. So, have the courage to say no to people. If you've got too much on your plate or you're not in the best energy, you can say no to a coffee date or whatever it is. So having the courage to have healthy boundaries, express your needs, your emotions, speak your truth, speak up and say, hey, this is what I'm feeling. Like that actually helps you keep well and happy, just these little things. And I learnt the hard way. So that's why I really love to share it, because it really is really powerful. I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
As a business owner.
Absolutely. As a business owner.
And a dad of three.
Dad of three. You learn you put yourself last behind family, clients, everything. But you can't, because if you do that, then you end up in struggle street very fast. And you alluded to something earlier, but I've sort of, and whether that's been your experience or not, I certainly suffered from some pretty strong anxiety and even panic attacks and other things at points in my life, and that I knew I was a strong person, but I was dealing with these physical and mental sort of ailments, I suppose, is the best way to put it. And the irony of that sort of process is it is very much a circular loop of physical to mental, and sort of momentum it can be a challenge. And so if you've got negative momentum, you've got a problem. If you're improving, then you're good. You can move through things. But I then went and from that, I launched out of that and started multiple businesses, like launching, I think probably even to a point where I'm trying to prove to myself that I'm strong, even in a way. So I took on all these challenges, and I had to be very careful and considerate of small habits and techniques and activities to make sure that I was looking after myself. Otherwise, I'd blow up. But I built some of those skills, fortunately, because otherwise the original version of me that was out there trying to start those things needed to go through that process to learn some skill set, learn a skill set to be able to look after myself. So self-care is something you've definitely touched on a lot. I mean, how do you define self-care, I suppose, to start off with?
Great question. So thank you for sharing as well. Like quite often as entrepreneurs, you're super successful. We're in his studio. It is lit. It is so cool. So from an outsider looking in, sometimes it's like easy to be like, oh, lucky them. And I want to remind you that we all have our struggles, and it's bullshit if you think you don't. So how we give ourselves the energy, the patience, oh my God, game changer, to handle whatever comes our way is how we respond to any situation rather than react. And I learned the hard way that self-care is a non-negotiable. It's like a VIP interview that you can't miss. And if you do, it's going to have a domino effect in a negative way if you miss it in the morning. So even as a mum, what are you committed to? Are you committed to being the best version of yourself so you can show your children how to be the best leader of their own life? Because leadership starts with us first. So if you say you don't have time, you probably don't, and you're probably under a lot of pressure, so like massive respect, but you make your own choices. Get up 15 minutes earlier, 10 minutes earlier, put that alarm on, and know that lying in bed having a little meditation for 5 minutes, feeling grateful for the blessings you have in your life is going to shift your mindset, shift your attitude. And after 30 days, after 66 days, that's how long it takes to make a habit, is that will have a positive effect in your life. So love yourself enough to put yourself first, even if it's for 5 minutes of meditation and slow breathing, which lowers your cortisol, allows you to handle whatever comes up that day better and being able to respond. So, and then what happens is that builds that self-trust muscle that, wow, I did make 5 minutes a day for a week. So what that means is next week I can stack it and do more. And this is called Stacking Habits by James Clear. So I think it's really important to know why you do things. Because why would we want to exercise in the morning? Why would we want to meditate in the morning?
It's fun.
Yeah, like so.
Well, it feel good.
Yeah.
But we still don't do it, right?
Yeah. So if you know why, if you knew that you're going to live longer, you're going to be happier, you're going to have more energy, you're going to have more focus to achieve more in your day and to be at your best, you'll make that 20-minute sacrifice to have what's on the other side, which is the incredible feeling. So my 3 non-negotiables are meditation, movement, and journaling. And also not having like really high expectation. If I commit to I move daily, if I go for a 5-minute run or walk the stairs instead of take the lift, I still moved my body. If I journaled like 5 things I'm grateful for, it took me 2 seconds, but I still committed to it. So I won't beat myself up going, oh, I didn't do 20 minutes of journaling. What a shame. And again, if you know why, journaling is such a powerful exercise to cathartically release our emotions pen to paper on the page, and just expressing ourselves helps heal so much. And then also reflection at the end of each day. Sometimes we're like, oh, I didn't do enough because we've got so much to do, especially as an entrepreneur or a parent. Why don't you write down your wins and remind yourself of all the beautiful things you achieved, whether it's just taking that 5 minutes a day to get out in the sunshine in your lunch break, ground yourself on the grass, connect with your breath, celebrate it. And what we celebrate and, allows us to build momentum and do it more. I could talk for a day on self-care.
I'm listening.
So.
Yeah, go for it. No, look, I think it's really good. Why do you think... And look, I see a lot of people guilty of this. I am absolutely myself. Why do you think we let go of the habits from time to time? And, do you have any ideas around what it is that you can use to re-engage and kickstart with things? And just to set some examples, like I meditate a lot, I exercise a lot, I journal a lot. I don't necessarily always have all 3 and when I do try and set them as a non-negotiable, I find I just bring the wrong mindset to the table, because when I do make a mistake, I don't want to be
self-compassion. I don't want to be your best friend.
Yeah, I don't want to be beating myself up, so I don't do that. However, I guess I'm committed to. I largely do these 3 things quite often. How do you frame that? How do you sort of help people through that process? Because I know that's part of what you do.
Love it. Okay, so like I mentioned before, is knowing your why helps you commit when it's uncomfortable. I say get fun comfortable as often as you can. That means stretching yourself outside of your comfort zone, which is where the growth happens. So challenge yourself. How can you get fun comfortable every day? And as a mum, I hear this a lot. They don't have time because they're running after the kids, making lunches. They're super women. If you're a mum listening, you are Wonder Woman. I tell every mum. And also dads as well. Sorry about that. I just connect with the mums more. But, okay. So when you know why you're doing it, so ask yourself, for what purpose am I doing this? For what purpose how many of you have time to have a coffee in the morning? Think about it. It's like it's a habit that gives them the comfort. I'm going to get energy to get through my day after I have my coffee. What if we stacked our habits and had 2 glasses of water and then a coffee, So making time, knowing, I think it's education, the why. If you know why you're doing it, then you'll do it. So for example, I'm a huge fan of habits. So I've read Robin Sharma's book, The 5 a.m. Club. It goes deep into the psychology of the brain, how it benefits you. As a naturopath, I know the deeper connections of how our hormones work, how our emotions work, our feelings, like how it's all connected. And if you want to achieve more in your day, it's not about time. It's about your focus in that time. So you can have 1 hour spent on a task that could have taken you 20 minutes if your brain was in its optimal focus. And, like I heard from Brendan Burchard last year, I went to his event, and this is what the masters have mastered. But again, they have to connect with the meaning why. Like if you truly love yourself, you'll make time. If you want to live longer, be the best parent for your kid, they're learning from your actions daily. So if you tell them to stop watching TV and stop looking at the iPad, but you're on your phone 24/7, as if they're going to listen to you, they're going to follow your actions. If you go out in the garden and take some time to play, enjoy the sunshine, breathe, they're going to copy you.
And they model so well. They just watch you so closely.
And I really believe this. So at the core of it is, how much do you love and honor yourself? Because quite often it's because we put the needs of others above our own. And this has been my personal experience. I'm as a naturopath and a coach, it's quite often to be a caretaker and a giver, but learning from your mistakes of like maybe burnout, stress, etc., you learn that this is a non-negotiable. Every morning, having that healthy morning routine and then having the healthy evening routine to allow you to sleep optimally, to allow your body to rest, and that keeps you happier, healthier, more energized to achieve more. This is the habits of millionaires and billionaires. So I say daily, it's who you become on the journey, which is where the magic happens. So for example, if you want to achieve your heart's desires, what are you committed to? What are you willing to give up and sacrifice temporarily to get that? Maybe you are watching TV in the evening for 1 hour. Are you willing to make that 20 minutes instead of an hour so that you can listen to that podcast, so that you can do that bit of yoga, so that you can read that book, which is going to shift your focus and make you more happier and committed? Yeah, I could just jam for hours. I love right. Learning, growth.
Yeah, no, look, I love it too. Like it's really stuff I enjoy talking about. But I want to just dig a bit more into you and your story. So
sure.
So when did we then start this entrepreneurial journey? What was the first business idea, and how did you get started there?
Love it. So I listened to my body. And remember, I knew I wasn't living in alignment with my highest values. I had so much to give. And I was like, I'm playing small. What am I doing? So I actually, to the day I was going to quit my job, I got a redundancy. And what that means is the universe was showing me, you've got this. I've got your back. You can do it. Go for it. So what did I do? I invested in a retreat in British Columbia with a bunch of amazing humans, and this inspired me to create High Vibe Tribe, which is my own wellness retreat business, and also a podcast where I interview leaders in wellness and personal growth. Because first of all, selfishly, it lights me up. I love connection. So our theme is courage, connection, and contribution. And coming together as a tribe, you can create so much more momentum and positive impact in the world. On your own, you can go far. With a team, you can move mountains. And you would know that as an entrepreneur. You've got a team here, and you're living in alignment with your values. And I just high fives, mate, for making it happen. It's so cool.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that too, but this is your story.
I didn't really answer that question either.
No, you did. You did. Look, so you invested in a in a retreat. So it's just a one-time event that you sort of were part of owning, managing, and how did it go?
Well, I connected with some of the best in the field. There was Elliot Hulse there, which is a bioenergetics meditation movement. JPC is the funny guy with red hair. He was there talking about emotional connection, loving ourselves, knowing that every single person is a mirror. What you like or dislike in them is also a reflection of you. And this is like such a game changer for any leader in a business, because it's quite easy to be triggered by other people's habits. But when you have an invitation to look within and go, why is this getting to me? How have I not fully expressed this? Or how can I shift? And like, that's a game changer as well. I just wanted to drop in there, is like, take the opportunity when someone triggers you to look within and go, how am I showing up as this as well? Or, what's deeper to make me frustrated, where the same thing might not even be noticed by somebody else. Yeah, So
you come off a big high, right? Okay, you want to resign,
yes.
You get the redundancy, put some money in the bank, and you're able to invest in this. You go to how long's this retreat? A few days, or
week.
So you go to a week-long retreat. You meet some amazing people. You're on this massive high. You get on a plane back to Perth at this time.
Yeah.
And then what?
Fuck. So my first business that allowed me to bridge the gap was actually network marketing, kind of. It's direct sales, and it was promoting Enagic, which is water ionizers. And I will be very transparent with my first year, 2017, was struggle street. When you become an entrepreneur for the first time, you don't get paid unless you make sales. And, you can be spending your time in not the most productive income producing activities. So it's really important to be aware of how you're spending your time and what's the return on investment, and then what to focus on. So I learned and grew a lot. I went to every networking event in Perth. I know many, many people in businesses, and I asked questions. So guys, number one, ask for help is a strength, not a weakness. Grow some balls, leave your ego at the door, and connect with other people and say, I'm a bit stuck. I don't know what to do. How can you help me? And generally people appreciate honesty and vulnerability, and they actually care, and they're willing to maybe connect you with somebody that needs your services, or remind you to show up, especially today, on social media, build your brand, etc., so people can find you. So direct sales was the first vehicle. I also did naturopathy freelance, coaching freelance, and events. But this was my mindset that had to have the biggest shift, which was I just wanted to give. I just wanted to help people, and that's all nice, but that's actually dumb in business, as I learnt to value myself more and charge my worth so I could help more people with the money that I had. So this has really helped me in my entrepreneur journey of the money mindset, getting clear on what are your limitations holding you back. What is the bullshit stories you're telling yourself? Like truly knowing that you're enough, you're worthy, you know enough so you can help another person, and you're doing a favor by charging your worth so they realize that they're committed to take the action as well. And then again, with the journaling, I did my reflections and intentions at the end of 2017 and took extreme ownership for where I was in my life. So
it hurts, right?
Yeah.
When you look back on a 12-month period, for example, and you think of how
especially doing your tax.
Much work. Yeah, that's right. So when you do your tax or something like that, and you think of how much work you put in, and then you look at this dismal number and you think that I worked probably 4x at least what I did with that job, yes, and earned probably a quarter of what I could.
Yes, yes.
And you go, but
Character building, babe.
You also have to go through, like, I don't think it's a process you can avoid. I think it's something that you need to at least feel some pain in that process, because you need to start to learn to value, your worth and really your worth. Like, some people might jump out of a similar, say, consultancy and just start doing it themselves and understand to charge a certain number and all that's okay, but they're going to have other fall down areas. But
totally.
You have to go through some of that breakthrough battle, I think, early on. And certainly I know a lot of people that have got to the end of a year or even 2 years or longer and just looked at this ridiculous number, and absolutely myself included, over a few years, I look at it and go, what excuse was I telling myself? Why was I saying it was okay because we're earning this other money over there, like, or my wife was doing this or whatever, and it's okay for this because I'm throwing this sort of money that I should have been earning as this value that's coming in the future, but actually that's just bullshit.
Yes.
That's just this ego play where you're like, and it's not that you're not building
it's avoiding
value,
reality.
but you're avoiding reality by pretending there's some other value being given to you in this future position, which is not true, but it's not going to be sustainable for you.
Yes. And so I would say the toughest year of my life was my first year as an entrepreneur, 2017. And again, the self-responsibility as a leader is how you take your power back. You don't blame XYZ around you. You take full ownership, and that allows you to move forward and create change. Whenever you blame someone else, then you're the victim and you can't do shit. So you move forward and you take ownership and go, I have to do something different. So I did my reflections, intentions. I was in debt, like about 20 grand. And that's because I'd invested in courses and things. And that's actually not that much as an entrepreneur, because what I did is I made that back the next month. So what I did is I invested in myself and backed myself and went all in. Because this is the gift that can come when your back's up against the wall. You have to take action and move forward and get outside of your comfort zone. So I started to do my first Facebook Live, and what came up was, who am I to even share shit? I'm like, not getting the results. Why would anyone want to listen to me? But I was actually honest and raw. Like, I shared gratitude. I shared my shit and helped other people, knowing that it wasn't about me, but who needs to hear this that can maybe make their day. And, what that honesty and transparency brought was connection with a lot of people, private messaging me, I'll share, it was like kinesiologists, naturopaths, these health giving people that were struggling to hit 40K in a year. And I shared transparently my struggle, and I got love and private messages. And through that, I've learned shitloads. So now I have learned your gift of digital marketing, building a personal brand so people know, like, and trust you, and then want to buy your product or service. They want to fly to the other side of the world and join your event, join your retreats, join your vision. And also, this is a game changer if you're listening. So getting clear on what it is you want to create. So getting clear on your vision, I break it down to 90-day goals, and knowing how it feels to achieve them, stacking the rewards, really embodying how it's going to feel when you have that reward. And I did that in my first month. And within 90 days, I moved to Bali. I had a 50K month. I literally turned my world around by taking the aligned action and doing whatever it takes. And everything's touching everything. So if you want to improve your health and start exercising and having your self-care habits in place, you have more energy to focus on your business, which then you make more money. And then with that money, you can invest in your health. It's like a circle. You can then delegate and have a virtual assistant that helps you on the things that aren't your highest values. And, then you have more time with your family. So it's all connected. And knowing that your sacrifice or your all in is a temporary time to turn things around, and it's about your long-term goals. Like, when you know why again, why are you doing it? And it's to bring that vision to life, and you have that meaning of what it really means. Because some people just like, oh, I just want to make money. Actually, you don't, because that 50K in the bank doesn't have a meaning. When you go deeper and you ask yourself this question, for what purpose, for what purpose, for what purpose, but why? Then you know, actually, part of my why is I want to be a stay-at-home mum. I don't want my guy to be at work 24/7. You know, I want to have a beautiful, you know, property with, you know, 2 kids and a cute dog, and be able to have quality family time, as well as having the education, the resources to travel the world and do these incredible events where I inspire other people to bring their vision to life and believe in themselves, trust themselves, leap, create it, know that it's possible, and even risk failure. Who cares? At least you tried. You know, the number one regret of the dying is not following their dreams, traveling the world.
It's so true, right? And can I go back and just take it super practical?
Mm-hmm. I'm a
40X, you know, whatever. You've got some 90-day goals in there. You've obviously done a great job, because I think the first time people do 90-day goals, they put their life's goals into 3 months, and
totally.
then panic and wonder why they can't get it done in 90 days. But so you go and you make that change. How did you have a 50K month?
Okay, so the magic thing that worked for me, and this is the thing, is there's no magic trick. So it's your aligned action consistently and your commitment to your goals. But what I did was affiliate marketing, where I shared somebody else's magic and I got a commission for it. So if I didn't have to spend my time making a product, shipping a product, education, selling, that was done in the business that I aligned with. So it's like Oprah, you know, and as a podcaster, we get to share other people's products. We talked a bit about Tony Robbins. He's a top affiliate marketer. You share someone's books. So that's what I did. So
what kind of, in your niche, in your area then? So you shared, and what type of products were you sharing?
So some of it is Amazon. Some of it is aligning with a high ticket item. So high ticket item means I can share with 5 people and make as much as if I shared a low ticket item with 50 people. So one of the products in my affiliate book, whatever you want to call my affiliate plethora, is the Energic water ionizers, like the health and wellness benefits from a Japan technology that's 45-year-old company, and they're shipped all over the world, and the benefits obviously align with my health values of valuing your health and vitality. So that was a product that I aligned with, and that allowed me to help many people. But what we did is we built our personal brand and shared our message through attraction marketing, where people come to you and go, what are you doing? What are you selling? What's new? And through the power of social media, I just shared what I was doing in a video, and they had a look and saw if what I was doing aligned with them. And if they said yes, I made a commission. If they said no, it was like high fives, can keep doing what you're doing. But that allowed me to jump ahead because I collaborated with other people. And that's what if you have a business, think of how you can reward anybody for giving you a referral. That's how you win fast, is building these relationships as well. I'm in the business of building relationships, and if you think that you're not, you're wrong. Sales is building the lasting relationships where it's exchange of value, and my character trait that makes me win is I genuinely care. So when you genuinely care, you listen to someone, you want to help them, and you do that. So that was my big game changer.
Sorry to cut you off. No, look, I really like that, because I feel like, you know, if we circle back to an earlier conversation about what are you doing now, people can do that now. And the reason why I say that is, at the time you didn't have the brand that you have now, and you know, you were in a position where you had some influence over some people, but we all are. And there is these opportunities where these types of things can be done as a side hustle to start.
Exactly.
You put some focused intention on it and had a really solid month, and I assume backed it up with a few other solid months too, because I think you more or less 10x that previous year, which was, your poor year. And then, but if you look at that, 2 times.
It's all perfect.
Yeah, like two years of where you were before versus one really poor year and then a 10x version of that is pretty good place to be, right? But it's possible.
Yes.
And it really isn't. And you talk about high ticket items, and I would certainly agree with that, because I think one of the first things people talk about with affiliate marketing is, there's just traffic.
$2 from a book.
Well, the immediate thing they do is traffic. They just say traffic. And it's like and someone who runs a digital marketing company and everything else we do, do you know what it takes to get a lot of traffic? A lot, right? Yeah. You don't just magically have a boatload of traffic unless you know how to pay for it.
Yeah, Facebook ads.
Yeah, which you can do, but that's a difficult approach. Whereas if you just go and find something you love, and you can find something that has a high affiliate margin, well, you only need
both people.
Benefits both, because everyone's still selling something, but you only need, say, 10 transactions instead of like 300.
That is
or
the
3,000.
game changer.
And that your friends will
Your
buy
effort.
a book that if you stand up on your own social profile right now, just to your friends and say, this book was amazing, it changed my life, here's a link here, like, grab it. Some will. And that's what I think people miss when they talk about affiliate marketing at the start. Yep. There's a lot of high value products out there. Yeah, they're harder in a sense, but they're easier because that's all you've really got access to, because you don't have 10 grand a month to start dropping in ad revenue to try and make a $2 margin. And that's difficult. To make a $2 margin, you need some of the skill sets that sort of we run with people that sit there and do it all day. Yep. You can't do that as a side hustle, not without having a bit of money to burn, right? So
you shared so much gold just there.
Yeah, well, hopefully we rewind that. But if people listen to that story, like you did that in 1 month, right? And I'll go
but it's
to
the
say,
I made a 50K month, but it was like 3 months in the making. This is the illusion some people think. There's no such thing as get rich.
No.
If you want to go buy Lotto every day for the rest of your life, you're probably never even going to win. Like, don't have that mentality. Be willing to learn the skill set that will get you there. And also, if you don't have money, money is not the highest resource. Energy is money, time, wisdom. I would rather pay a lot of money to speak to somebody wise and powerful that's going to help me save time, energy and money, sweat, blood and tears to get there. So this is why we have coaches and mentors and leaders that have paved that path before us. Yep. We invest in them and then it saves us loads of time.
And what you need is influence, right? And you can literally do that with Instagram, on your DMs or Messenger. LinkedIn and wherever. It doesn't matter. But you need to just have a group of people around, because as we've both figured out and we've both run events for the first time where we've pulled in a lot of people and had to pull in a lot of resource and not necessarily known how we're going to pay for this whole thing when it starts. You sort of, or whether we're going to get ticket sales or whatever, it's character building, but you realize how many people will rally around you to support you. And when you even didn't necessarily know the extent of what your tribe looked like, for nothing, in just complete support of, and they're supporting you, but they're also supporting this like possessed version of you that is just absolutely focused on this thing no matter what. And they can see it, and it's infectious, and they'll just go, you know what, I will help. I'll do whatever I can to help.
That is beautiful. And you know why? Because people want to be surrounded by the positive action takers that are living and breathing, bringing their dreams to life. It's like addictive. People want a piece of that.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, Oprah has 3 coaches and a personal trainer and all these things. So actually the best investment you can make is in you. And I also, seeing you are Mr. Digital Marketing Agency, wouldn't you agree that we are our brand? What we speak, our actions daily. And guess what? I don't care what your product is. It's not about the product. People buy you. Like Matt says, if they see this, say you're selling socks, if you have an Instagram and you just sell great socks, you've got a lot of competition. But when people hear your story behind your brand, why you have your grandma's hand-knitted socks with gorgeous pictures and what it means behind them and how you're giving back and contributing to charity in Africa and all this stuff, that's the mission that people buy. You know, like actually at your event, there was a rock star leader who is in the Facebook world or some
Facebook, Paul Raimondo, you're talking about?
Yep. So he worked for, can't exactly remember, but this is what he said, that every business with a purpose will fly. The people like the big chains that, you know, still invest in TV ads over social media ads, silly people, if they don't have a purpose or a charity behind them, people won't continue to buy from them. So that is like gold. If you have your own business, how are you sharing the story behind your brand? How are you giving back and having that positive ripple effect? And you know, our event, Limitless Abundance Movement last year, I flew in speakers from all over the world. We had Mike Sherbikoff, which created the Greatness Foundation, which is a non-for-profit that gives back and builds homes for people in Mexico and other beautiful charities, but they partner and align. And when you have this goal, you unite people worldwide with this global mission. And that was, my mission was to contribute a lot to this charity. And what I learnt was that I didn't charge enough for tickets and it didn't go as planned. But this is part of my journey. Like, again, learning to value yourself and also be okay with a loss initially. And there's no such thing as a loss because the lessons learned are priceless. Of taking the action and the growth, the trust muscle that's built means you are unstoppable and there's nothing you can't do. So look out. The next event you have the video footage, you have the people that had the life-changing
100%.
Experience that will then bring their friends. We're talking about affiliate marketing. That's referral-based business. So you just say, if you had an amazing experience, would you share on your page our message and invite your friends? And that's the community, building the tribe, the community, the high vibe tribe. You know, that's creating the movement that is global and worldwide. And, you know, we can do that by sharing our message. And now we have social media to make it go further. Look at Jay Shetty overnight on everybody's phone. And that's because we gave value consistently and built connection, and then the positive ripple effect is endless.
It sure is. And look, the one other thing I'll just grab out of that is, you know, if you hadn't have gone and invested in this event and gone to that event in the first place, you would never have been able to just start affiliate sales and have a big month without having built that connection and network and reach and the thing. So they're like, every one of the steps is a step. And just because one step is a financial loss doesn't mean it didn't have certain value that brought you to the next stage. But you just need to be making sure that you're not lying to yourself in the process. Like, you're not
get the reality check, guys.
Make sure you got the reality. Make sure you understand what you're doing. But and let yourself
have a coach
be guided
that sees your blind spots when you
coach
can't.
Helps. Yeah, coach definitely helps too, for sure. So anyway, I want to know about Bali life. So how does it, whereabouts are you in Bali?
I live in Canggu.
Okay.
So I do events on how to become a digital nomad, and I do share my story and how I've been able to have this online business which pays for me to travel to Melbourne and study coaching and create worldwide events. So Bali life actually was especially vital after my event. So after the event, it did stretch me in many ways, and I learnt self-care. So I went to Bali and enjoyed the cheap massages, the sauna, the healthy food, did a juice detox and used all my naturopathy skills. Like, it's like a dream. And this is why I love Bali. Perth people, don't hate me. I live in Perth. We're in a Perth office here, and I am an entrepreneur without a large team initially, and it was a bit lonely as an entrepreneur. My lunch break, I can work from home, but everyone else is out of job. and I catch up with my beautiful mum friends, and it's beautiful. But I missed being surrounded. What a high vibe tribe means for me is being surrounded by like-hearted people that lift you higher, and you become like those you surround yourself with. So I don't want to be around people that aren't bringing their dreams to life. Sorry, we have a choice and we choose who to spend our time with, because Tony Robbins says proximity is power. Yep. So I moved to Bali and I've connected with people that are doing their best, living their life's purpose, doing their best, even just trying to bring their vision to life, whether it's making their own yoga brand, whether it's running retreats, whether it's running other people's social media. I don't care what you do. They had the courage to leave their comfort zone of their little home and travel to the other side of the world. Bali has perks. It's like a cheaper living sometimes. You get villas, and the food is incredible. The weather is incredible, the beaches. But for me, it's the beautiful connection of beautiful people that are living their soul's purpose, or even, like I said, just doing their best too. So I just love the connection and the possibility. Like, you meet people from every different country, that everyone has a story. And this is what I believe. Everybody listening, you have a story. Share it. Your message matters. You never know who you're going to inspire by your courage.
So there's a lot of like an expat community and sort of, do you work in like co-working type environments? Yep. Is that what you do? And you just sort of hang out and
co-working spaces, and there is next level events like pretty much every day if we wanted. So there's many different co-working hubs. I love Tropical Nomad in Canggu. I have an event there in November, how to become a digital nomad. And I also do self-love workshops there. But because there's so many people with different gifts, you can learn about SEO if you want that boring stuff. You can learn about self-love, yoga. You can do breath work. Because I value health and vitality, it was about living to my highest values, and also having the time freedom from the business that I've created that's online. There's a bit of automation happening, which allowed me to study coaching, which this is a message I really want to share as well, is I made a lot of money last year. Not going to lie, lived the dream, traveled the world, went to all these incredible events, because of that blessing, I was allowed to bring my dream to life, create an event, 100 people, the positive ripple effect still going. But my favorite thing is learning to have that centeredness, groundedness, self-trust that you can handle whatever life brings by having the self-care habits and, having the breathing, the meditation, etc. So that is the game changer for me. That's true freedom. It's all within. You can have so much success externally, have the hottest car, be so miserable, depressed, unfulfilled, but this is the magic that I want people to have, because that's been my biggest blessing, is learning to feel my feelings, believe it or not, learning to embrace and breathe in
the truth, right?
The anxiety, the stress, whatever. And an emotion lasts 90 seconds, but if we kept avoiding it and stuffing it down, that's torture. It's never going to move. So every lesson leads to a blessing. And if you're in a struggle at the moment, breathe it in and embrace it and look for the gift in it. Sounds crazy at the time, but I promise you, you're going to find that magic afterwards, and that will make it all worthwhile. And that's that true deep connection with yourself is number one. That self-love, that self-trust that's built with every adversity. Like, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today and without all my struggle, without all my lessons, and then being at a point where I actually had to invest in myself and get the support, the guidance from a coach, etc. So everything's perfect. You wouldn't want to change a thing.
No, that's it. Look, I was going to ask you, which is my sort of wrap up question really, is what is the one thing and this is what the question I ask is, what is the one thing you would recommend that people do to amplify their business? And I really think that's probably your answer, just is to stop and look at those lessons. And I think too often we really think that we put so much energy into the business, but we forget that the business is just, and the business's results are living out the mindset largely of the founders and owners. And you need to really work on you to actually make the changes that you make in the business, right? So, and I think that's really what you're saying there, is you need to stop and look inward, and really, and tools like journaling and meditation and all that are the ones that can help you sort of get in there. But really, the business is you. It's a reflection of your inner workings in your brain. And if you're saying, oh, that's bullshit, we'll have a stop and have a really good think about that. And understand and have a look at some of the challenges you're facing and see what they're there to show you. So that would be my answer. But look, thank you so much for coming.
You're amazing.
We could probably talk for 3 or 4 hours here, but at some points people need to go listen to some other podcast.
And I want to also just say, thank you for providing the opportunity to share my journey and connect with your audience on the show. And also, thanks for listening, guys. I've had a lot of fun. I hope you got a golden nugget. And also, if you're listening and there's something you loved, share that on your Facebook status today. Share whatever it is that sounded true for you, because it's not about you. How can you amplify your message and other people's message for free? Share it. The greatest gift is giving, and it can be free. That's what I would share. Show kindness today. Give someone a hug. Tell someone you love them. It's free, and you never know. Life is a gift. Anything can happen tomorrow. Coming with love, but life's short. So just speak your truth, live your highest values, believe that you're worthy of having all of your heart's desires, and then go take the massive action and make it happen.
Yeah, that's it. So look, if people want to reach out and have a chat with you, or if they just want to follow you on social, or look, if they might want to head over to Bali even, or maybe they're in Bali, we do have some listeners in that region.
Yep.
And if they want to maybe go to one of your courses, they're thinking about being a digital nomad, where should they find out a bit more about you?
Great, thank you for the opportunity. Karolyn Zinetti is my name. Matt will have it in the spelling
linked everywhere
on his podcast. And on Instagram, I'm Kazzy Zinetti, KAZZYZINETTI. Reach out. I'm super friendly, and I love to share and connect and have fun. Let's have fun and meet up somewhere in the world.
Sounds good. Look, thank you so much for coming. Everyone, I hope you really enjoyed that episode. And as she said, as Karolyn said, look, let's share it. Push it out there. There's some great nuggets in there, and more people need to hear it. So until next time, ciao, and we'll speak soon.